It's so very tempting to read sweet symbolism into this historic day, and historic it is, even though we use that word historic a bit loosely. But to think of this, that someone of Indian origin is now the Prime Minister of Britain. A lot of us find ourselves saying this to ourselves again and again, just to remind ourselves that it is true. It is quite extraordinary. Think of the Parliament here, think of this British flag here, how many centuries it flew over India. And through the days of the East India Company as well, when the company's rules were made by Parliament here, its mandate, its powers, its limitations and its rules were set by Parliament here. The trading terms were set by Parliament here. And of course, the Treasury got a lot of money by way of taxation out of its business activities and trading activities in India. And then on, after 1857, the direct rule, one act after another, one rule after another for administering India was made through Parliament here, directly or indirectly. In any case, anything of consequence had to be approved by Parliament. Generations of Indians grew up over centuries knowing no other world and knowing no other way to be. And now we see this change, and this change of course comes after a long fight and long struggle by Indians against this Parliament here. We had the whole independence movement, Lala Lajpat Rai, then Gandhi, then the advances and the successes step by step, the Morley Minto reforms that did not reform very much, then the brutal Rowlatt Act 10 years later, then Churchill, who resisted any independence for India. And after all that, we come to a day like this. An Indian and someone of Indian origin becomes Prime Minister of Britain to set rules for this country from Parliament here, to lead this country around the world. But that sweet symbolism, tempting as it is, does have to stop somewhere. We have to see, of course, and we will. Rishi Sunak is the Prime Minister for Britain. He is not in it with any commitment to India, and in fact, on the contrary. We've seen evidence of this through the hustings when he spoke about illegal migrants. He meant migrants really from India who have overstayed in Britain. There was an agreement between Britain and India that India should take back some of these. That has not gone very far because first, it's not easy to identify who all these people are. Second, it's not easy also to uproot people who have been here for years and years, who have children growing up here, going to school, and these are issues that have led to delays. But Rishi Sunak has pledged a hard line on this. Certainly he also would link this, as he said, to the free trade agreement being negotiated with India. So on these issues, we can expect a very hard stand from Rishi Sunak against India. If not against India, then at the very least to secure advantages for Britain rather than concede any to India. So this Indian origin flag that we are waving with so much enthusiasm will have to have its limits. It doesn't go beyond a point. But notwithstanding all that, despite all that, and despite the fact that he will of course look after Britain's interest, even if that means going and taking a stand against India's interest, we still cannot resist the symbolism of the day that someone of Indian origin is now the Prime Minister of Britain. Whatever follows, this is historic, it is most remarkable.